I mean, this is the best PFP, I think, on the internet. Hello, devlord.
Hey, hello.
How you doing?
Thanks for the PFP comment.
No, it's
for having
good.
me here.
It's highbrow and in a great way.
It's generated by some during the AI craze. There's this like weird medieval meme thing. It comes from here. All credits to them.
I love it. Well, you're popularizing it. NFT coming soon. Okay, IPOs on pump.fun. We have covered the internet capital markets at a trench level. We've covered it at the sort of meta level. I think the most interesting thing for us, at least, is this sort of exploration around how founders who have big visions can get capitalized, get a head start, and go build something that can be big and valuable in the future. And also, I think we kind of hold the belief that the current models that are out there today are just not quite right. So I'm curious, maybe you could just level set us on your worldview on the opportunity in ICM and how dev.fun fits into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think first it's helpful to kind of give some context on where we're coming from. We kind of went live in January, and like the first line of product we offers is basically just building apps with AI for Solana, right? So we offer like wallet connectors, like a whole bunch of things like this. And I'm not gonna run through the whole pitch, but basically you can build apps on Solana very easily. And our whole thesis, we was not called ICM back then, but it was definitely like, how do you get like kind of a more substantial and real project to launch on Pump? And this was our idea, is like how we can accelerate it with AI. We can let people just kind of prompt and tokenize. It's not going to be like the next TikTok, but it's a beginning of something. And we kind of started from here, and fast forward a little bit, we realized like the project we're talking to, some of them is like they want to be like a bit larger scope. They're like, okay, maybe just coding with your AI is not cutting it for us. Like we have our own devs. Like maybe some of what they do is built with AI, but not everything. We definitely need to build our own project, their own things. And so that was one of the pain points. The second pain point was the way we launched the token on Pump is not really fitting for us. So we came up with IPOs not as a way to be like, we kind of want to like make a move in the launchpad space, and this is what we're coming up with. It was just more like a natural like follow-up and the feature we just added to the platform, just let kind of the devs just launch in a way that seems it's more fitting for them. So we came up with that. Basically, there's a couple of assumptions. It's just the pump fund bonding curve starts extremely low, like 6K market cap, something like this. It just becomes like kind of a competition who's the fastest. You get, maybe someone's gonna scoop like 3% of supply of something for extremely cheap, and it's so cheap that they don't even have to believe at all like in what they're doing. And it's also really fast. I mean, for someone like me, for example, I don't really have time to be in the trenches as much. So it's also something that I would want to use. I mean, some good projects are coming up, but I don't, I can't be on Axiom all day. So we made this IPO model where basically we give people 6 hours to kind of set up like a raise. It's still like a pump fund launch, so you're like in an environment that's very familiar. You have access to the creator fees that they give you. You have access to streaming features, like all the social features. You're on their app. You benefit from all their reach. Basically, we didn't want to like recreate that. Why do it when there's already something that kind of works?
But it seems to me that is maybe the critical error here. Like the type of token purchaser that is participating in Pump is one that is there for, the be early game. Even if you're extending that out to 6 hours, there's still a lot of be earliness there. The first launch on dev.fun was the Vibe, which, if I look at sort of like the top trader there, I think cleared $1 million, and I think the token is trading at about $500,000 FTV right now. So to me, this is just like a fundamentally broken model here. And I'm wondering if you have a different point of view on that.
Yeah, I have a different point of view. So we had 2 launches. We have like kind of 2 models. Like the first one before that was store.fun, and then Vibe. Vibe is the first IPO launch. I think we frankly did just too good of a job at marketing, too bad of a job at explaining what it's for. So like there was like a lot of hype for this launch, especially because Store.fun the day before was like extremely successful. So then everyone was like all eyes on us suddenly. And we're launching this project, like they're raising at like 100K market cap, right? That's where you're getting. So obviously you're not like backing an A16Z startup either. You know, it's like you have to understand like kind of what you're getting into as well. It's small startups getting started, like you're bootstrapping them, they're raising 50K into 200 SOL or something like that. I think the expectations were a bit mismatching this, right? So I think that's what happened here. Like people kind of didn't really understand what was happening. We could have done a better job explaining it. I think in hindsight, like what I would really change, I would launch like 5 of them at the same time so that people can kind of choose like what they like, you see a bunch of different things. And instead of just be like, oh, this is the one launch, this is the one thing we have to like go all in on this thing. So I think, it's a bit of like miscommunication on our side, I guess.
How do you?
I don't. Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say the model is completely broken. We've seen definitely like this went to the bonding curve and immediately like got like super sniped, traded like really high. I think in my opinion too high. It's just like not kind of like it's just like it's supposed to launch at 100K market cap and it jumped to like I don't know 12 to 30 million or something. It's yeah, I mean, technically, there's like what 2,000 people participated in the pre-sale. They're all like still, I think now, maybe 4 or 5x up if they kind of did it. So I mean, something didn't work too well, something worked well.
Yeah, how do you think about, I guess, the negative selection bias that kind of exists today? Like, the best early stage teams can go raise private capital and not have to deal with a lot of the the challenges that come from launching a token, and also like the downstream challenges that come of maybe eventually needing to raise money and the token not trading at a valuation that makes that easy. Like, what do you think needs to change for us to get to a point where great teams want to go launch tokens at the earliest stages?
I think, I mean, I've been in crypto a while. I think I remember buying, Solana at like less than 9-figure market cap on the open market. There's just like this kind of phenomenon of like privatizing all the gains, before you go to market. But I don't think most founders like really want to go through that game, especially if you're like kind of now with AI and like a lot of vibe coding products are coming out in the market. Like the kind of like product cycle is very different, I think, right now. So you have a lot of people kind of trying to do quick experiments. They want to do something, test it for like a month or two, bootstrap it month or two. If they don't get PMF, completely pivot, do something else. Like we see a lot of that. I don't know, like we also see that now a lot less money goes a lot more further. In terms of like pushing a project, like raising 20 to 50K to bootstrap yourself can go a really long way. In terms of creating something valuable, especially if you like know a little bit about viral marketing or things like that, right? So I don't know. I think it does make sense, and if you kind of succeed at converting past this, like 1 or 2 months, where you really get like that traction and you actually end up getting the PMF, maybe even some revenue. Then a lot of people got to get in early with you and will push you and like will do a lot of marketing for you. There's not a perfect model. I think private raising makes sense. Public does make sense as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I hold two things where I think like 99%, if we zoom right out, 99%, if not more, of founders do not want to have a public token, a speculative asset from day one in what they're building. And let's call it 98%. And then 2%, I think actually 99% don't want to launch a token right now, if we're being fully honest about it. If we look at the totality of people who are stepping into building a startup, and then say of the 2%, the majority don't want to launch a token from day one. And yet at the same time, I think there is this really compelling dynamic that emerges there that feels like it's a new type of asset that maybe trying to bucket it into the same sort of venture scale startup model misses some of the nuance to it. And I think we see that in a lot of the teams in the Farcaster and Clanker ecosystem. I think we have seen that sort of break free in some of the early ICM and on Solana, Cled, Dupe, etc. And so there is clearly something there, but then at the same time, so much of the conversation is around, okay, well, like, is this just a meme coin? Do I have any ownership? Do we need to tie equity to these things for them to actually be valuable? And so it's almost like there's sort of this convergence kind of back into traditional startup type of mindset. So I'm curious if you think, like, is this a new type of asset class, and how should we conceptualize the value there?
I mean, my kind of, I don't really have like a revolutionary take on this, but my kind of personal view is that first of all, what we kind of want to help those people do, and I think where crypto really does a great job is, and that's kind of our North Star internally, like how fast can we get you to your first user, and how fast can we get you to your first dollar in the treasury, right? And I think at both of those things, we do an amazing job. And I think for founders, there's like a lot of value here. Like you can go on dev.fun, like Vibe had to upgrade like their like infrastructure immediately because there was like so much like kind of people flocking on the website. So, you see those things. This is very encouraging in a way. Like you see something that works here. And then obviously like all these ownership discussions, like, I mean, the investor protection, I think there's a lot of merit to have kind of those debates. My personal view is that everything can be solved if like, the project makes money and has users. And that's like the most important thing. Like we shouldn't just like kind of forget that this is the most important thing at the end of the day. I see it like, I enjoy in some projects, right? Most of them like never get user, never make money, don't really work. I mean, that's fine, so some do work.
Yeah, I think
I've been like
rugging's not
screwed
the
in
main
many
issue.
different ways,
Yeah, finding product market fit will remain the biggest risk factor in any early stage project. So
exactly.
that's true. Yeah. All right, do you guys have any launches coming up that you want to put on the radar, or what's next from dev.fun?
Yeah, so I think there's two things that kind of important to clarify, I guess. IPOs is designed to be eventually permissionless. So what we're gonna do to avoid like the situation where everyone's just aping one thing, where it looks like we're like kind of hard chilling this one thing or whatever. Like we're gonna kind of whitelist a few projects. We have more than 500 applications to be whitelisted there. To be clear, not everything is gonna be whitelisted because obviously, I mean, we do still want to like have a level of quality there, right? But we're gonna whitelist a lot more because some of those are gonna raise, like 5-10K. Like I think there's no saturation here, right? So yeah, we're gonna whitelist a few at the same time. And our other kind of part is like the incubator, and this we're like way more selective. And this is gonna be, we don't even have like a schedule for. We do have a few candidates right now who look really good. Like Startup Fun was, I think, really great because it was really in the trenches, but also a real product with a real plan and the founders that's been around for a while. So that's why it was kind of the first one from the incubator. We're only looking for this caliber of project or even superior.
Okay, so nothing planned right now, but more to come. Is that the right way to frame it?
We have more to come. We're also not gonna announce them. I think that's also lessons learned here. We're never announcing a launch before it happens. Again, like clearly. So this is, I think, always going to be after the fact. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got to leave it there, my man. But I think saw that launch. I think I was fairly critical of it, but one of the things that I do appreciate is I think the clear good intentions and vision and consistent showing up and trying to iterate on this. So appreciate you hopping on with us today and sort of sharing your thoughts. And I think
we're definitely going to keep iterating on models and experiments as well. I mean, it just like comes from, what we're seeing, talking to our users and everything else, right?
What a novel concept.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. We will be paying close attention.
Thank you for having me.
will be paying close attention. It's devlord from dev.fun pump on X or dev.fun. Thank you, sir.